All right. Good morning, everyone. Kamusta po tayong lahat? I hope everyone is very okay today. And to those participants and newcomers, ayan po, we are flashing on the screen some few reminders during our program, our event for today. Once again, thank you so much for joining Radenta Technologies Interactive Nagios Webinar with the theme, Why Network Visibility is the First Step to Cybersecurity. Of course, those people out there are wanted to know what are the things that can be monitored or why, or let's go back to the basic question. Why do we need to monitor things? This question might seem be impossible to answer, but today we would like to try our best to give you a short, brief, but suffice answer to know why is network visibility or infrastructure visibility a very important thing for your daily needs, especially in your enterprise needs. No? So without further ado, let us start our event. Let me introduce to you our first speaker for today. All right, without further ado, today he will give us a brief discussion on business resiliency in utilizing cybersecurity through infrastructure monitoring. Please welcome our technical engineer in Cybersecurity Division, Radenta Technologies, Mr. Cyrus Cortez. Good morning, Sir Cyrus.
Morning, everyone. Morning. I'm Cyrus, technical engineer at Radenta Technologies under the security. I hope you're doing well, and I would like to thank also for your time for attending this webinar. So for our today's topic, I will discuss how Nagios XI can provide you with high level of visibility to your organization, which is essential to cybersecurity. So let me share my screen for a while. Thank you.
All right. While we're waiting for Sir Cyrus, of course, let's give just a brief background on the cybersecurity in a sense. Why is network visibility a part of cybersecurity? We understand po no that every cybersecurity infrastructure only sees that yung part ng backup and endpoint solutions. No? Usually, yun lang talaga yung tinitingnan natin. No? And why are we considering a network visibility as part of cybersecurity? To give you a short answer for that, it's network visibility is part of cybersecurity because without visibility on your networks and all your servers and every infrastructure that you have, basically you will have a problem in a sense right there. It's like a bird's eye view on everything that you have right now. But if you don't have any visibility towards your infrastructures and everything that you have in the moment, it will render an attack. Possibly, knock on wood po, if in case there's a cyber attack na mangyari and you don't have any visibility on your whole infrastructure, doon po tayo magkakaroon ng problem. No? And hopefully by this discussion with Sir Cyrus, we may able to address how can we assist ourselves, how can we sleep at night na without the problem or without any kaba, without any doubts at all that your business, your enterprise will be running again for the next day. And again, thank you so much, Sir Cyrus. Take it away again.
Okay, so thank you again, Wally, for providing some insights about the topic we will discuss. So, can you confirm if the slides are already visible? Thank you. So again, good day, everyone. So our topic for today is why network visibility is the first step to cybersecurity. We all aware naman sa mga nangyayari dito for the past few years. Start yung pandemic, so medyo tumaas yung yung mga cybercrimes na na-receive natin. on a daily basis. So one of the most well-known na cyber attack last 2020 is yung Sunburst attack. So it's a very, very complicated na cyber attack that was orchestrated by the Russian, not necessarily the Russian government, but backed by the Russians. So ang target nila is yung mga US federal agencies like NSA, FBI, and some other companies na most likely around 18,000 na mga end user and companies yung nadali ng attack na yun. So paano nag-orchestrate yung attack na yun? So the attack was actually a very, very elaborate scheme na ginawa nila. So it took them 9 months before sila ma-expose na nakapasok na pala sila sa network. So ang nangyari kasi is dumaan sila sa isang platform. So ang naging call guy nila is si SolarWinds. Actually, SolarWinds Orion, which is another network monitoring tool. Doon sila nagkaroon ng backdoor. Then lahat ng mga end users is nagpasok sila ng another backdoor from point to point to check if ano doon yung mga feasible na targets nila. So all users ng Orion is actually infiltrated by the hackers. So paano sila na-discover? So one of the call points nung attack na yun is they targeted another security firm, which is FireEye. So nung nagkaroon sila ng attack for that, so nag-trigger si FireEye and informed the NSA. Oh, thank you. So nung na-trigger na nila si FireEye, doon nag-report si FireEye sa mga government agencies under US that the system was infiltrated and it is already been hacked. So yung gravity ng mismong mga files and mga data na na-breach is actually is still unknown. So worth billions of dollars. So ngayon, how can we prevent that kind of attack? So the first step talaga is to have a visibility ng buong network infrastructure natin. So how can we do that? So first is we need to use some tools, not only Nagios actually. We can utilize more than single security tools for us to have a better grasp ng mismong IT infrastructure natin. So I'll proceed with the next slide so I can introduce you the product itself. So yan. So organizations should leverage solutions that provide comprehensive visibility across the entire IT infrastructure. The threat landscape is growing at a rapid pace, and the organization can no longer rely on point-in-time assessment to effectively portray their level of security. So with this, we really need to integrate a solution that can trigger or send alerts on a real-time basis so that we can have visibility ng mismong mga nangyayari sa infrastructure natin. So next is, how can we do that? So with Nagios XI, system administrator has the flexibility to monitor critical network infrastructure by utilizing multiple monitoring techniques such as active checks. So it monitors servers, initiate communication with the monitored host, executing health checks on a host by an agent. So actually hindi lang yung mismong health ng mismong network ang pwede natin ma-check dyan. So they can also send you ng mismong mga queries ng mga services na we can create a triggering part na, for example, na itong database na to, ang transaction nito is hanggang gantong part na, for example, 10 transactions per second lang. So if nagkaroon siya ng pang 11 na transactions, we can set a threshold for that and it can send a trigger na email or alerts to the system admin for them to have an awareness na, uy, this is not normal. So with that, they can already start investigating ng mismong mga part na hindi natin masabi at makita agad. Since nga, we're not aware na ganun yung transactions na ginagawa ng isang database. So ang magiging effect niyan is magkakaroon tayo ng awareness, we can have them check this transaction is valid. So on that first line of defense is pwede natin maibigay para lang makita natin na yung mismong mga transactions natin is taking legitimate transaction, so we can prevent na further attacks, or we can ensure na our system is still safe and we're not experiencing any cyber attacks. So next is yung mga passive check. So monitored host send data upstream to the monitoring server. The monitoring server does not initiate communication with the host, so it does not need inbound network access. So with the passive check, may mga device tayo kasi na nagsa-self-check sa mismong status. For example, yung mga router and switches. So with passive checks, for example, every 5 minutes, nagko-collect sila ng data internally sa mismong device nila. Then, isa-send nila sa monitoring server para magkaroon tayo ng visuals about sa mismong health ng mga devices natin. So next naman natin is yung agent-based. So with agent-based method, a lightweight agent is installed on a monitored host, which is enable the monitoring tool to connect the host and check specific metrics. So this kind of approach is very useful if you're using a Microsoft Windows server, Linux server, or any devices that runs on an operating system. Kasi with agent-based, we just need to install an agent sa mismong host natin, then we can set the threshold, the metrics, the services that we can check para makapag-send siya ng details and reports sa mismong Nagios server natin. So aside from sa mga default na mga metrics na pwede natin makuha, we can also customize yung mga metrics na pwede natin i-check. So for example, you're running on a Windows server and may mga software ka na niraran doon for another monitoring which is crucial to your cyber security infrastructure. So you can set the services that is running, then magti-trigger siya sa mismong admin panel mo na if ever na yung application na yun na dapat is expected to be running is bigla nag-shutdown or nag-off. So with that, magkakaroon tayo ng awareness again na, uy, there's something wrong with the network, there's something wrong with the system. We can start investigating immediately. So next is agentless. So with agentless method, a native protocol supported by the monitored host is leveraged to run checks. So for example is SNMP for Linux and Windows devices. So another is SSH. So this is usually used sa mga Linux devices. Then moving forward, so ease of use. So it doesn't mean kasi na kailangan ko ng IT infrastructure and network monitoring tool. It doesn't mean na kailangan medyo complicated siyang gamitin. So with Nagios XI, users can leverage the ease of use talaga with Nagios, since Nagios is providing wizards that are add-ons to the service that makes it easy for end users to monitor the devices, services, and applications. Wizards also provides user-friendly interface, especially useful for users who are new to Nagios. They create all the new related monitoring configuration without the needing to understand how Nagios XI works on the back end. So, if yung mga ibang users natin, hopefully, familiar kayo kay Nagios Core. Nag-start kasi si Nagios Core around 1999. So, more on ang makapag-start ka ng monitoring dyan. So basic na web interface, then lahat ng metrics na gusto mong i-monitor can be done through CLI. So medyo complicated siya. So nung around 2009, release nila si Nagios XI. So yun, medyo tumali na yung pag-start natin ng monitoring, since nga you're not necessarily needed na kailangan na may back-end ka sa Linux para lang makapag-start ka gumamit ng Nagios, since nga nag-integrate na si Nagios ng wizard para mas mapadali yung monitoring natin, since ang gagawin lang natin is check kung ano man yung gusto natin i-monitor. For example, yung SNMP natin sa isang switch natin, input the details that's needed by the wizard, then click next, then yun, mag-start na siya mag-monitoring. So simple as that. So next is quick detection and alerting. So this is very important to us talaga. So kailangan syempre may awareness tayo sa lahat na nangyayari sa infrastructure natin. So whether naka-up ba or naka-down yung host natin, running ba or not yung services na gusto natin ma-check. So it is very important na kailangan always tayong na-alert ng mismong Nagios natin. So Nagios send alerts when critical infrastructure components fail and recover, providing administrator with the notice of important events. So as an example on this, on how we can utilize Nagios. So when we can actually use for example, for this service, website defacement wizard. So it allows organization to monitor their web resources for hacking attempts by scanning the common words that often appear in pages after a site has been hijacked. Also, file and directory monitoring wizards are able to monitor and alert based on abnormal behavior as defined by the system administrator. Next is, so insights for planning. So we can utilize Nagios by creating multiple groups to receive alerts and delegation depending on what kind of task is delegated to each of them. So for example, we have multiple teams enrolled in Nagios XI, network team, infrastructure team, and help desk. Then suddenly a Windows server just went offline. So Nagios XI can send an alert only to that team that's designated in handling the Windows server. Other teams that is not related on those tasks are not included. So with that kind of feature, we can utilize efficiently our workforce, especially ang workforce natin is medyo limited lang. So through delegation, kung sino lang yung related na kailangan maka-receive ng alerts for a specific na device or groups, siya lang yung maka-receive. So next is yung promptly take actions. A great example for this topic is a company stakeholder wants to have an overview of the whole IT infra of his or her company. But he's not very well versed sa paggamit ng Nagios. So si Nagios admin can create a read-only user na pwede natin i-delegate kay company stakeholder para magkaroon lang siya ng access sa Nagios. So it doesn't mean na kailangan kailangan is well-versed si user sa paggamit ng Nagios para lang magkaroon siya ng visibility. So hindi siya ganoon. So pwede tayo mag-create ng read-only, login credentials on Nagios, makikita lang niya yung mga metrics sa dashboard niya. So gusto ko makita yung department na kung lahat ba ng mga servers ko dito is naka-up or naka-down, biometrics ba dito sa floor na to, is working fine, ba siya sa network, yung mga wireless ba, lahat ba is makikita. So yung ganong kind of review can be provided even on a read-only basis lang na user. For this, actually, this is just a quick overview of the features. So if you want to have more details about the product or the solution, you can reach Radenta for more in-depth presentation about this. So actually, this wraps the short discussion about the benefits when we integrate Nagios to our IT infrastructure. So thank you po.